Here we are. Here we are. It's the hat. It's the hat. I'm Donna M. Butler. Sitting next to me, Ariel Butler. You have just parked it on a Wednesday night. It's a little after 9. We're running a little late. Welcome to the Attitude Shift. She's chewing gum and blowing bubbles on the air. But you know what? It's no different than your hat, Siobhan. It's a weird night tonight. She's blowing bubbles. You have a weird hat on. What's going on in your land? Happy New Year, first of all. Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Yes, I have a hat on. It's winter here in snowy Western Canada, and we just got dumped on. We had a 3-day snowstorm, and I got to wear this hat, and I've got to wear it indoors. No, it's not that fun. But it's choking me right now. I actually kind of like
choke.
I look like a little princess, like from Russia or something, maybe.
From Russia? That's what it reminds me of, Slovakia. Like, you're about to go deep in the mountains for a while.
I'm going deep in the mountains. Yeah, I'm going to get lost in the mountains. Yeah,
It's pretty cold here, too.
What's really cool is you can do this, too, with the hat.
I know you can do a lot of things with that hat, I'm sure.
I think you can. Anyway, so I got headphones and a hat.
Hey, you're looking. That's
the new look.
Stylish.
I think we will see it on the catwalks of Milan and Paris.
I would rock it.
I think so.
That's my attitude. That's my new attitude for 2015, and I want to find out what yours are. I'm not afraid.
One of them.
Well,
let's stop laughing.
You know what?
So I'll see if I can take it off, and oh well, here we go.
Ready? I'm
ready.
I made a promise to make my husband laugh every day in 2015. So that was my first thing to do.
Well, I made a promise to make the audience laugh, and I think they can see my bun is sticking out.
Yeah, you have a little
that should make people laugh.
Bunnage.
Yeah. You have some bunnage going on.
Little bunnage up here. We'll just go with it.
We'll just go with it. As always, that's what we do. You know, we shift. We get in just like tonight, we were all ready with separate blocks, one for her, one for me. She had her own little space to do the show, and we couldn't get her on camera.
Like I said, I guess it's just not meant for me to have my own little square.
So, but Ariel, what is it with the hair? What is it with the hair tonight? That her hair's so big that it's squeezing you out. Like
thank you. That's what I've been saying. Every picture now lately, she squeezes me out with her hair. Okay. First off, we were in the DMV, and we were leaving DMV, and this guy said to Mom, he's like, "Hey, Shaka Khan."
Don't laugh, Siobhan.
I was like, Shaka Khan all day. I'm just going to call her Shaka Khan because her hair. I mean,
no, it's 2015. Big hair, don't care. You know, it's just going to keep getting bigger.
Well, I've had snow hair, so that means you put hats on and then you go out and you shovel snow, and then it just gets all soggy wet. And then because you go, well, what's the point of having a shower and doing my hair again? Because in 3 hours I'm going to go out again and shovel snow, and it's just going to get all stringy again. And anytime you do wash it, you know, within a few hours it's all stringy again because you've got to wear hats.
Right. I wouldn't mind.
You freeze your little ears off if you don't.
I wouldn't mind living in the snow and wearing hats. I'd have like a different accessory. I mean, a different color hat every day. I would accessorize my gloves with my tights. You know, I'd just, jazz it up a little bit.
And see, that attitude right there is exactly why we're doing tonight's show. It is because it's about the new us and the tune-ups. You know, I was thinking the other day, we put so much emphasis, like when it started getting cold. That's what everyone does. You know, they put the antifreeze in the car. They do. I'm trying to move my hair.
No, you need to put your face in the picture. All we have is like half a face in your hair.
Okay, so the two-headed. Hold on. Okay, really. So we put all this emphasis in our cars. You know, the antifreeze, the tires, all that stuff. But we don't really do anything for our attitudes. You know, we don't put a lot of emphasis on how our our journey is. You know, we don't put enough emphasis on making sure we're smiling, making sure that, you know, we walk out in the world and, you know, present something good. So that's what I thought about. Why don't we do that to start the new year? Why don't we overhaul ourselves? Don't make resolutions, because you know what? When you make those things,
they never work out.
5 minutes later, you're swearing like a sailor, you know? So that was for my friend Cass Trim, who was going to stop cursing in 2015. I think, no, it wasn't Cass. It was
my friend Santana said that she was going to stop cursing in 2015, and like 3 hours in, she said a curse word. Like,
you know, I think that if you say a lot of curse words, it must be very hard to change. I don't say a lot of curse words, but I remember when I used to say a lot of curse words, right? It was part of my vocabulary.
Me too, and now I just don't.
I consciously had to stop.
And you learn other words besides those 3 words.
The S-bomb.
You used every time,
S-bomb, right.
So you kind of have to get smart. You have to use like that vocabulary thing on your Mac or your the word of the day or whatever it is.
So that's what I figured that I would do. You know, that I would do an overhaul on everything, the attitude from the inside, not the outside. You know, the outside's kind of, you know, I'm okay with that.
She's okay with that.
I'm okay with the outside.
Well, your outside is great.
But what about the inside? What about the inside?
I think so. I think that we can change our outside very quickly. You know, we can go to a show in New York City or LA and get on one of those daily talk shows and do a makeover.
And get a free makeover.
They're always looking for people for free makeovers, but you're not getting that attitude makeover.
No.
And it's an attitude makeover isn't a 15-minute turnaround, you know, with hairstylists and makeup artists and wardrobe people.
No.
It's a concentrated effort to change your attitude, to modify it, to adjust it, to actually understand that you have an attitude that needs changing is a whole other story.
Yes.
We were watching Lifetime today. Shout out to Lifetime. But every commercial on Lifetime was a weight loss commercial. That's what I noticed. Every commercial was a woman saying,
I'm too fat.
When I was fat, I was so unhappy, and now I'm skinny, I'm happy. Like,
have you seen the new Weight Watchers commercial where it has this little jingle? I can't stop singing that song. If you're happy and you know it, I mean, that's the song, right? If you're happy and you know it, eat a snack. If you're happy and you know it, have another one. I want to sing that song, and then I want to go eat a snack.
Right, and that's just it. But Ariel's right. Every single commercial, from Marie Osmond all the way to Queen Latifah or whomever, it was somebody talking weight loss products. Well, it was like at the start of the new year. You know, they do it 3 times a year. The first time of the year is for the new year. Then they get you all fat for
then there's summertime and then there's the winter.
Body, you know, and then get ready for the winter holidays with a nice body, you know,
with the boots up, leg
the
boots,
thigh-high boots, you know. And so I looked at that and I was like, what about if you're miserable on the inside? And no matter, because Marie Osmond to me looks pretty good. You know, she does. And I thought about a lot of things that Marie Osmond went through over the past 2 years, death of her son, you know, suicide, a bunch of other things that, you know, their mother died, you know, the matriarch of their family. And so I started thinking, is that really all that it's going to take to make Marie happy? You know, is that she's 50 pounds lighter?
No, I think we've seen, first person that came to mind was Anna Nicole Smith. She was up, down, lost weight. She became perfectly beautiful, just like Marilyn Monroe, like her idol.
She looked
and she still died. She overdosed. You know, obviously, whatever she was going, trim spot didn't make her 100% happy, didn't fulfill what she thought was all she needed, you know?
I do think it has to be from the inside. I've worked in the weight loss industry a long time, and I haven't worked in it recently, but there are specific times of year, and of course they're trying to get you to change your eating habits. But changing your eating habits and losing weight can like a makeover. You know, if you get your hair done properly and it looks great and your makeup and you've got a new wardrobe, it can make you feel really good.
Mm-hmm.
And weight loss can actually energize you and make you feel healthier, which I think is a big part of being able to adjust your attitude. But if you're still a bitch and you're skinny, no amount of weight loss is going to help you with that bitchy attitude. Right? So you have to understand that you're being bitchy, or you're being miserable, or you're being having that victim mentality, or any of the myriad of attitudes that we've talked about.
Or why you want to eat a whole pie in one sitting. You know, there's a reason. You know, they have a commercial that's out and it's a real open and honest way of people losing weight. And it's a guy, he's got a plate full of food, and he goes, I wonder if this is enough. You know, they go from the inside. They tell us what they might be thinking. You know, and then there's a lady that says, I know I'm going to be hungry later. So she's putting more food, you know, on her plate. So I like that approach for that commercial because they're going from the inside. You know what I mean?
What they're thinking. What makes them want to do.
Right. They're kind of showing it from a more personal level, you know, view other than I just like being fat.
Well, what are you hungry for?
Right.
And I think that it stems from your attitude towards life, right?
It is also, like you have to work your brain too and your feelings. Just like if you get liposuction, you have skin hanging. You have to work that body to get it right. I think you also have to work your mind and your daily activities that you're doing. Something has to change besides just the body. Your surroundings, your environment, that has to change also.
Because this up here, that gray matter affects everything. It controls everything we do. Right. So if we lose weight, it's because our brain has allowed us to do that. We have the control and the willpower to do whatever we want, basically, because we have this really amazing engine, right?
And that's great.
Which is our brain.
That's perfect segue into exactly some of the tools, and you just use the number one tool. Is our brain, because no one else can shift that for us. You know, no one else can tell us, you know, how to think. They can try all day long. I mean, we see it all day. We see it in commercials. We see it in those weight loss commercials. We see that, but no one can tell us ourselves. No one can direct our brain better than we can. And I think that's the top thing that we should start off by, you know, with a tune-up. What you put in that brain.
Right.
If all you're putting in is Jerry Springer, then guess what? That's what you're gonna.
You're gonna have Jerry Springer in your life.
You start making Jerry Springer stuff out of your life. You know, you start looking for things. You start, I think,
comparing yourself.
Yeah, you start comparing yourself to things, and you know, saying, "Oh, she looked like my sister's just like that." You know, her baby and daddy and her still fighting just like that. You know, I think that's what you start to do.
Yeah. So I don't think you can't knock any sense into somebody else.
Right. No, absolutely not.
Because it is their mind. It is their mind, and they're in control of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there may be mental health conditions where you're not in control of your mind. You know, way on the spectrum. But normal, everyday people like you and I, all of us here, we can control what we're thinking, what we're feeling. We can figure out what it is we're feeling and where that feeling's coming from. And so when we have an attitude that needs adjusting, what do? Other than go to Journey of the Soul Car and read that, which is free right now on theattitudeshift.com. You can go and download it right now. I still haven't taken it off, so go get it. You can download it and read it right on your Kindle or right on your desktop. But basically, and that has all the tools that you need for an attitude shift. But basically, we need to see. I lose my train of thought. What was that meme today? There was a train of thought meme. It said it just didn't stop at my station. That's how I feel tonight.
But no, you're right.
What was I saying?
You were talking about what we're putting inside our brain. You know, how we can go in, just like you said, the tools. And it's so simple sometimes. It's so simple we overlook it. We make it so hard. You know, sometimes all it is just stop. And think about what you're going to say before you say it.
And 86, insert 86 meaning taking things out or discarding, throwing it away.
Got it.
86ing certain people out of your life is just that easy. Just like, oh, maybe he is making me do this, or maybe, you know, maybe this is, you know, it's that simple to do. And I don't feel sorry for anyone. Honestly, I don't. For anyone who says, oh, well, this is my situation, because there's things that you can do.
You're right, because a lot of people go to, oh, he made me do it, he's making me do it. I'm living this way because of him or her, or, you know, what they're doing to me, it's their behavior. But really, you can step back and walk away. You know, just like you can defriend somebody on Facebook. You can end a marriage, you can end a relationship. You don't have to talk to your siblings. You don't have to talk to your father. You can take a time out. You can kind of take a look at what are the reasons. Why am I allowing this person to control my life?
That's right.
And then you may be able to find a way back into that person's life and have a relationship with them. But blaming them for your circumstances doesn't help, because it's your circumstances. It's under your control. You can choose to be in the moment with that,
right,
and in the drama, and you may be getting something from that. So you got to take a look at that. Are you actually getting something out of it that is filling that void, that void in the stomach, the hunger?
The hunger.
Right.
Instead of saying, you know, when you're looking at something, saying, well, that person reminds me of somebody I know. Instead, won't you say, well, are they talking about me? You know, or could that be me that they're talking about? I like to look at things that way now, instead of quickly saying, oh, that sounds like Bob. Doesn't it? Saying, you know, wow, that kind of sounds like something that I'm doing, you know, and maybe I should change this or change that. We're so quick to say that sounds like someone else.
And most times it is, you know, we see reflection of ourselves.
Exactly.
So we can start off 2015 by what goes in here, in our head, our engine, like you said. How about what we see? How about our eyes, our high beams, our windshields, our things like that? What about what we see? You know, what we see is 90% of how we react, I really believe. I believe when we turn on the television in the morning, and if the first thing we see is tragedy, well, guess what? That energy is what we bring, start the day off. I can watch something on the news and just feel miserable afterwards. And carry that almost through the day, you know, because you hear it later. You hear it. You know, we have television that rolls 24/7. It's the same stories over.
It pops up on your phone now.
On our telephones. So I think, you know, for 2015, if you want to change your attitude, maybe change what you look at. Change how often you look at it. You know, it's just with anything, overindulgence. You know, you do something too much, you eat too much, what's going to happen? Indigestion. You know, you put too much in here, you're going to get that overload. I'm watching people go through that right now in my life. System overload, too much information being put in. And then even with what we see, you know, there has to be a breaking point where we turn off.
You know, you're right. I actually caught that today because I woke up, turned CNN on. What is it about the terrorist attack in Paris? And our heart goes out to those families of the people that were murdered. Now, we see these things all the time, but the breaking news, that's the first thing. It wasn't the weather report I saw or anything like that, which is just about as bad. But I see that all these people have lost their lives for speaking
what they believe,
like the freedom of speech. So, you know, journalists around the world now, beware. Even people like us, if I wanted to say something against a religion, you know, maybe I better watch out, right? So,
absolutely.
So then that got me going, because you know how I don't like to people that fear God, or I don't think we should fear a religion. Like, religion shouldn't make us scared. I think we should respect religions around the world, and we should respect everybody else's choice of religions. But I shouldn't be fearful of a religion.
No,
Right.
I shouldn't be fearful, and I should be able to pretty much say what I want, except hate speech. I'm big on, don't be knocking somebody down, right? So no hate speech, but here I was. That's what I woke up to. So then I realized, as I was out shoveling, that I was getting madder and madder, because it was like shoveling rocks, right? Like nobody else was out helping me, because the snowplow had come by and filled in the driveway, and of course we couldn't get out to work or anything until that was shoveled. So then here I am, and I had to consciously shift and focus on the lady down the street, and I started talking to her. And I actually realized I had to get out of sort of this negative spiral I was going into, right? And then I got away from that, and I went off, and I had to go to somebody's house, and the person hadn't made a space for me to park.
So that just added on more, huh?
I'm like, you didn't, like, clear your driveway. You wanted me to come to your house, but you didn't clear your driveway? There's no room to park on the road, because it's full of snow. The snowbanks are like 5 feet high, right? 6 feet high. There's nowhere to. I have to get out and shovel a space for my car. Oh, I was mad. But once I started shoveling, I calmed down. I paid attention to those feelings, and I realized that probably the CNN report about the Paris shootings, right, got me started, and I never really got out of that downward negative spiral, and I had to really get myself out of it. I went around this person's house, and I was cleaning, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, he really had quite a Christmas, right? I was like almost mad at how dirty the house was.
Because you had a good Christmas, huh?
I guess you had a good Christmas. You left me a mess to clean up, right? So I was just not a happy camper, but I finally got out of it. I finally realized, because each time I went back into that negative space, I caught myself and dug myself out.
So see, that's good, because you use another sense. You use your eyes. Your eyes have played tricks on you. Let's say that your eyes played tricks on you this morning. Even though what you saw, you saw that tragedy, which it is, and again, our hearts go out, but you internalized it to the point where you brought it out with you. You still could see it, you still could see it when you came out, and so it just played right in. And and we do that, and we use that, especially me, when I see something like that and I get really depressed or really get mad about it, I use it as an excuse to find other things. Find other things to be mad about. Find other things to, try to make sense of it. And the only way sometimes we could do that is just by being angry. And unfortunately, the innocent people catch that from us.
And then I came home, and I actually was able to get on the Facebook, and I saw things like your sister, your aunt, Ariel, your sister Donna, getting into LSU.
And LSU.
I thought, wow, that's so exciting. I went to look at Facebook. So many people talk about Facebook as like, oh, Facebook, it's it's crack, right? It's so bad. But I actually think that, especially if you're conscientious about the people that you choose to be friends with, that it can really lift your spirits every day. It can take you out of that negative attitude. It can take you away from the attitudes that can ruin a day, a month, a life, and get you back on track. Because if you have people, as one of my friends said, she shares my brain. She's 3,000 miles away. She lives in Florida. She goes, but we think exactly alike, right? And
that makes you feel good.
And it makes you feel good, because you realize there's other people with similar lives going on as yours. They have the same trials and tribulations, but they lift themselves up. And
I love Facebook.
Looking for you to lift them up.
Right. I
love Facebook.
And I'm up on my ball.
I decided 2015 that I was going to go through my friends list and change a lot of, because I feel like Facebook can uplift you and, bring you down, depending on who do you have on your feed and who do you look at every day. you see the same person over and over putting nasty pictures up or horrible things, that's going to stay in my mind, and that's going to flash back in my mind all day, you know, and I don't want that. So clearing out your list for 2015, your friends list, I say do it. I say make a change with who you associate with, who you talk to. You know, who you talk to, who you associate with, it says who you are. That's very important. People need to know that.
You know, if you look at the 9 friends in the little box on the left-hand side of your Facebook page, look at those 9 people and ask yourself if they post negative or positive things. Do they lift you up, or do they get you into like a battle with them every day, or are they throwing stuff out like that it's just nasty or mean or judgmental? Look at those 9 people, because that's representative of the people that you spend the most time with on Facebook.
That's right.
And that would be representative, probably the people that you spend time with even face to face, right? So I'm looking here, Tara Kennedy Klein, Donna M. Butler, Michael Kadzoria. I mean, you guys know these people, and well, you are one of them, Donna. But you Sally Kirkland, Mary Pittman, Cynthia Togtima, Fiona Forshaw, Lois Short. They're all amazing people. If you read their pages and their posts, they're funny, they're interesting, they're informative, they're creative, they're living life, they're doing their best, they're trying to be successful at what they do. They're trying to improve themselves. You know, they're becoming yoga instructors, or they're running successful businesses, or they're trying to pitch television shows to television networks, things like that. You know, or trying to win an Oscar. You know, they're working at trying to make themselves a brighter light in the world.
Right. Positive motivation. Positive people right now. That's all I want around me constantly.
And I think what other tools we have, this is a funny one. You know, you got to throw humor in every now and then. Our noses. And what do we do with our noses? We snip out the bull. That's what we do with our noses. We sniff it out and get it, like you said, off of our feet, out of our head, out of our eyesight. We get it out of the way. We use our nose for that because it's clear. You can smell it, and you get rid of it. Yeah, and you get rid of it. So that's a fun tool to use. Use your nose and use it wisely. You know, if it smells,
use your nose, use it wisely.
If it smells bad,
exhale.
Then it's not good for you. If it smells that bad, you know, if it smells so bad you can't be around it, you know, you don't need it.
I've had a lot of those smell bad people.
Take it off of your feed.
So exhale the negative, inhale the positive, uplifting attitudes, and when you surround yourself with those kinds of people, that just in itself can change your attitude.
Absolutely.
Because it's hard to be around people that are all positive without that rubbing off on you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about it. If you were in a room with a bunch of people smiling, how long would it take before you started smiling too? Wouldn't take very long.
No. Some people maybe a little bit longer.
I like that. It may take some people I like that, Siobhan. So speaking of that, what we do with our mouths in 2015, how can we tune up, you know, our attitude by tuning up our mouths, you know?
You really thought this through, didn't you?
I did. What we see, what we talk about, what we share, is our mouth being used to cause destruction in someone's life, or are we using our mouth, you know, to smile and spread, you know, positive, or make duck lips, you know, duck lips. I mean, do something other than spreading, you know, the stuff that you can smell, you know. So I think
it's true. Stay out of other people's business. It doesn't matter what they're doing.
Yeah, stay in your own lane unless you're cordially invited to travel with someone else.
Well, yeah, but you can be like me and ask Donna what's going on. What did I miss?
I love when you ask that. That's cool. Well, because you have...
And you care.
Right, you have permission. to come into my lane.
I guess I have a special key. Yeah, I have a special key to get in there.
Siobhan, you can come in my lane anytime. I mean, there is no problem with you coming in my lane.
I can ride on your roof. John tells me, get on the roof.
Get on the roof. So we know that you guys have another comment about the mouth?
Kiss the right people. Kiss the right people.
Kiss the right people. Ooh. And not the other part of their body.
That's right. Don't go around kissing.
Yeah.
Don't go around kissing
frogs.
their round bottoms.
You can say.
Yeah, don't kiss us. Stop kissing us. There's no reason to.
There's no reason to kiss A's as it is. Okay, so we have the head, what goes in. We have the eyes, what we see.
What we smell.
We have
what
the
we
nose,
touch.
not to smell. We have the mouth. Okay, what about these babies? The ears.
We hear.
The ears.
Listen to yourself. Listen to what you're saying.
That's a good one.
Listen to what you're saying. You know?
That's right. Listen to what you're saying.
Listen to what you're feeling for what's coming from here, that source. You know that source. We all have that same divine source. I'm supposed to have divine energy now, so I'm all like
I know you have
spiritual and faithful.
That's great.
I have divine energy. So, but really, it is. It's about what this source. You know, your heart source. I don't know what people call that.
That's your GPS, man.
Your GPS.
GPS.
So make sure you keep your ears open for what you're saying.
That's good.
Because you can be all on about somebody else's business, but listen to what you're saying about it. Mm-hmm. And I think Ariel mentioned it earlier. It's like, it's basically transference, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you're really talking about yourself.
Right, exactly. Like, people do that literally. Like, if you really listen and be like, they'll say something and they'll say this whole story about what somebody else is doing. I'm like, you're doing the same thing. Or, you know, and I think it just, like Mom said, no one's actually going to say them, me. So better yet say it to somebody else. You know, no one's really going to point out their own flaws.
Blame it on Felicia.
You're so quick to point out the person across the street's yard when your yard looks the same exact way.
And maybe worse.
Or maybe worse.
So when you focus on your shortcomings, you're going to improve yourself. You're not improving the person across the street by bitching about whether their lawn is perfectly manicured or not.
Right.
You know, it makes no sense to do that. It matters very little in anybody's life whether or not that person's lawn is manicured or their hedges are trimmed or whatever is going. You know, their driveway's plowed. That's a good one recently. You know, that driveway isn't plowed. Well, I'm not going into that driveway, and unless I am going that driveway, and then I'm going to get really mad at you. I'm really pissed off.
Yep. So I think that's probably one of the better tools that we have is to control our mouths. I think that's good because listening with what's coming out. You know, I think those go hand in hand.
I think listening to other people is important because you understand people better if you can stop and listen. And I interrupt people all the time. It's a big thing that I have to work on, as you've noticed. I'm constantly interrupting people because I'm excited about the conversation and I've got something to say, and so I have to kind of like settle down a little bit, right? But I catch that every so often, not all the time. But I'm working on it. But that's the thing. You can be busy listening to somebody and understanding them, but listen to what you're saying.
Absolutely. I think that's great. Ariel was starting to talk about, put your hands up here. She was talking about our hands and what we put our hands on. And the biggest tool, again, it's, for 2015, tune up. Get these fingers and tune up those hands. Where are your hands?
Do something you enjoy doing.
Where are you putting your hands? Siobhan, you're doing an amazing project, and I love what you're doing. I know there's a lot you can't say, but you're working on a project, and you're putting up some really nice-looking veggies. And I know that, what you're doing is also going to encourage people to use, their hands. Sometimes we don't do that. Sometimes we use our hands to what? Punch numbers,
punch people,
slap people upside the head,
punch the keyboard, pull out weave. You know, we're always doing.
You know, she had.
Yeah, I'm busy pulling out my weave. I could be pulling out this bun very soon.
I know. We can think of a lot of things think about some of the things we see that are done with our hands. Just like what you just said about the tragedy in Paris. You know, guns in the wrong hands.
That's right. Instead of this.
Right.
Right? You can do this.
You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this.
Yeah. You can do this.
So that's at other people's accomplishments. I'm big on that. What's that?
That's John Travolta.
You can do
John Travolta. You can do that.
There you go. Yeah, we can do that. You know, we can blow kisses.
Aww.
You know, there's so much we can do. But Ariel put the thing up there. We can do this and hold hands. And like we said long ago, Siobhan, seems like a lifetime ago, we said we can pull others along.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
we said we can use our hands like a toe chain, and we can pull others along. So that's something we can do for 2015. Lend a hand, not to pull someone over a cliff, just lend a hand to help somebody shovel their snow.
Absolutely. I wouldn't say this normally, but for the show, I got out this morning and I shoveled all the rock snow out of our driveway, and then I went and I had already shoveled out the mailbox where everybody goes, the community mailbox, but of course the snowplow had, covered that again, so I went and shoveled that out because just so many people have to get to the mail, and now, what is an 86-year-old woman going to climb over this little mountain of snow? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Somebody will kill themselves, And the city is just overwhelmed with snow removal, so they're just not able to do it. And then I just went down the street, and another neighbor that we know, Holly's uncle, we'll call them, and aunt and uncle down the street, because Holly's got friends everywhere. I went and shoveled just a little, they didn't have as much snow at the end of their driveway, so I went and shoveled a little bit. And then I came back and I shoveled somewhere else, and somebody else was out doing the same thing, and I thought, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and there are people that actually are out caring about other people, thinking about other people other than themselves. We needed to get out of our driveway, but I know that they needed to get out of theirs too, and nobody was going to be able to help them, right? And I wouldn't normally say that, but that's, they talked about it on television as these angels, like a lot of seniors needed angels. Now, 18-year-old people get out of bed and get a shovel and get your driveway cleared out, because it makes it easier for everybody else. It really, clear your sidewalks if you have sidewalks.
You were a living snow angel today then, huh?
I was.
Yay! So that's something else. See, you just tied in, like the last two, which was our hands, and then finally our feet, our legs. What are we swift to go to? Where are we pushing our pedals? Where are we putting our feet? Where are we going? Part of the journey is to know where you're going. Are you just wandering around idly? You're an idle, just wandering around, bumping your head against the wall, doing the same thing, expecting, different results. Make 2015 where you're really out there
and standing in holy places.
Stand in the holy places and do something good. We're so quick to run to when something happens. We run to car accidents. We run when we see people arrested. I'm good for that. I have a camera. I'm going to go. And I'm going to catch whatever I can catch, on camera. But what about running towards something good? What about running to grab a shovel and shovel the driveway?
That reminds me. I was a snow angel a couple times today. But I was actually going to somewhere beautiful. On my way to work, I saw that the sun was just shining across the lake, and it was like just beaming on the mountains that were full of snow. And it was absolutely gorgeous, but I couldn't, we'll get arrested if we use our phone in the car. So since I have this now for work, I wanted to take a picture. I didn't have my regular camera. I actually can't get the pictures off here. It's not hooked up to the internet, so I don't know how to get the pictures off. So if anybody knows how to get the pictures off, let me know.
Take the cord. Take the cord.
No, I already tried that. It didn't work.
It didn't work?
No, so I must be missing something.
We'll figure it out.
But anyway, so I actually went out of my way. I was thinking, oh, I shouldn't do this, but I do have time. So went out of my way to get down to the lake so I could get a better picture of this glorious setting. You know, the scenery was just, I was like, oh, wow, this is so amazing. You know, that nature made this happen, right? It just made me feel good in all this negative that I was swirling around in. Then there's this glorious sun beaming on the mountains. It was just amazing. Well, I'm toddling down this little road, and somebody's stuck in their driveway. And there's this old lady in the car, and an old lady's trying to push her out.
Jeez.
I just stopped, and I was like, do you need help? And, of course, I get out. And, of course, I'm like an old lady, too. When you're in the snow, it's hard to push a car, right? You need a lot of people to get it out, right? So you need some guys with really strong arms. So eventually a couple of guys stopped then too. So we got her out, and then we all went on our way. And she I'm sure she was so appreciative. Like, she said thank you, but you know, I think afterwards she must have been like, thank goodness there's people in the world like that.
Right.
But I wouldn't have been there if I hadn't gone to look at the beauty.
Right. So always be
of the
quick,
scenery.
you know, and so that's a good way. That's a good tune-up. You know, and all this goes with attitude. Everything that we just described, this 2015 tune-up that you can do yourself, it doesn't cost $29.99. It doesn't cost $19.99. It's free. You know, you don't have to buy one, get one free. It is free, and all you have to do is shift it. And like you said, it doesn't happen in one day. Look how long it took us, and we're still works in progress. You know, we still look at our own owner's manuals and, you know, do revisions and whatever. But if you take one thing at a time, you know, maybe start with the brain, you know, maybe work on, you know, and then in the GPS, which is your heart. And it's gonna, you know, it's gonna steer you. If you really trust it for what it is, your heart's not gonna let you down. People always say, oh, he broke my heart or she broke my heart. But no, if you're doing everything else to fortify and keep your soul car in tune, your GPS is going to be right on point, and it's going to always lead you, you know, to where you can do your best work. And I do know that. And, you know, well, look at us. We're slow coming around the mountain, but you know, we're coming. We're coming.
Oh, it's a really nice mountain today. It was gorgeous today. I just want to remind everybody to go to theattitudeshift.com. There is a free download for our book called Journey of the Soul Car, and it is how to attitude shift. Like, what is an attitude shift and how to attitude shift. And we wrote that last year, and it's absolutely free to you. You can share it with anybody that you want. Once you get the download, then you can share. We're not selling it. You know, we tried to sell it on Amazon, but we'd rather make sure that you get it. And so we're giving it away, and we're not even asking you for a name and address like most people and most marketers would think that we're completely mad for doing that. But I don't even want to know if you got it. But if you do get the book and you enjoy it and it makes a change in your life, we'd love to hear from you.
And that's the best way you can pay us back, is by getting the book, and the tools are right there. They're tools just like we just described, right at your fingertips. So, you know, why not take advantage and give yourself a brand new start? Don't just, you know, say it. What do they say? Don't just
say it. Do it.
Do it, or don't be about it.
Don't be. No, don't.
If Haley
don't
was
be
here,
about
she'd
it.
say it.
No, don't do it. Be about it. Don't say it. Be about it.
Yeah, don't
Is this
say it, be about
a Southern thing?
No, it's just a thing.
It's just a thing.
It's just a thing.
Don't walk
thing.
the walk, talk the talk.
Be about it.
Oh, and if you want to see driving in a snowstorm, go to my wall, or Donna's wall, there'll be a video that I made for her kids to show them what it was like to drive in the snowstorm. I know, somebody else.
You know what? You got a couple little criticisms on there about your driver was going a little too fast.
I know she was.
The driver was a little fast.
Was like, woo!
Oh, your driver's a little too fast.
Well, somebody asked me to keep them coming, so if I'd had a video camera this afternoon, I would have got a picture of the lake in all its splendor and glory with the mountains in behind, but I didn't have my camera. I'm going to have to take it with me from now on.
Yeah, you need to take it with you. I want to see.
So time to put it in park, Donna M. Butler.
Yeah.
Ariel Butler, it is extremely fun having you along for the ride, and I'm glad, and I hope you stay with us all year and, well, forever.
Of course, I love you guys.
Well, we have a lot of big stuff going on, so with that being said, we're going to be back next week. We really are going to be back next week.
And we'll have 2 different
and we'll have another box. We'll have
her hair takes up the whole square, so.
We need a box just for her hair.
It looks like we're like blending and Donna Siobhan. It looks like we're like going.
So with that, I'm going to put it in park until next week. I don't know what we're going to have next week, but I know at the end of the month, the last Wednesday, we have Diane Andrews. And
next week we have a friend, Leslie Flowers. She's going to talk about being successful businesswoman, being successful as a businesswoman.
Well, what a great way to start the new year for all the women out there, men out there, people out there who want to get into business. We're going to have an expert on next week. In the meantime, you can check us out. Attitude Shift is on Facebook. Siobhan Shaw is on Facebook. Real Talk is on Facebook. Yours truly is on Facebook. We're all on Facebook. But we'll be back on Google Plus next week. Attitude Shift. Keep on shifting until we meet again. Mwah. Peace out.
Bye.